Hey guys, Brian Gagne here. Now this video is going to be all about setting up your blog for a newsletter. This is going to be what you need to do to build that all-important mailing list, and this is the first step to get that going. Now, if you watched my previous videos about how I created the blog, I went and I showed you the plugin I used to make this little widget here that says sign up for my newsletter, and it's where you actually would put your email and hit sign up. And the widget also makes it so that if anyone ever registers for my site and leaves a comment, that they can just sign up for the new or opt in, I should say, to the newsletter with a simple checkbox, which is neat because if they're taking the time to sign up for your website, there's a good chance that they would also sign up for your newsletter. So you want to make that as easy as possible for people to do. But I didn't really get into the configuration of that widget. I said I would do that in another video, and here I am. This is that other video. So now the first thing you're going to have to do is choose a back-end newsletter service provider. You're going to need to do this because if you just try and send out a bunch of emails from your current email account, it'll probably be marked as spam. ISPs don't really like that. So using one of these back-end providers will make it work. It'll definitely help you know get your message out to all the people and avoid that spam folder as much as possible. Now, it is always a good idea to tell people when they sign up for your newsletter to add the email address that they're going to be receiving the newsletter from to their contact list. This generally will allow or this generally will make it so that the emails do not end up in their spam folder. So that is definitely something to keep in consideration whenever you're sending emails to massive amounts of people. It'll tend to trigger the spam filters. So you want to make sure to avoid that. So now anyway, you have a lot of choices when it comes to who to use for your backend provider. I went and kind of looked around and I ended up going with MailChimp. Now, I noticed the most recommended one was Aweber, and that was just all over the Warrior forums and this and that. But I looked into them, and it seemed like you needed to, pay $20 a month just to get started there. And as a newbie just starting out, you don't even have anyone on your mailing list yet. How do you justify that? How do you justify paying $20 a month if you're just kind of beginning, you're just kind of testing the waters? So MailChimp seemed like a much better deal. They have this option that, as you can see here with my current plan, it's called the Forever Free plan, which allows me to send 12,000 emails per month to 2,000 subscribers. Now that should go a long ways in getting me started here, and then once I'm going beyond those numbers, chances are I'm making plenty of money, and at that point, if Aweber seems to be a more robust service or whatever, I could go ahead and make the switch, or I could upgrade to one of the premium MailChimp accounts or whatnot. But so I'm just kind of looking for the value here, and this seemed to be, I didn't really want to invest any money in this unless I absolutely had to, and it looks like with MailChimp you don't, so figured this would be the one to start with. So now I signed up for an account, and then the first thing you have to do after you sign up for an account is create a subscriber list. So you just simply click create subscriber list. You give your list a name. You give a from name. This is where it's going to come from. You can either put your personal name, or if you're branding yourself as a company, you could do that. I'm just branding myself as me, so I just put my name there. The default reply to email, I just put my Brian@bgrs.biz email in there. A default subject. Now every time you send out an email, you can have its own custom subject, so you don't really have to put anything in here. It's not a starred field. But if you want to have a default subject, you could put it there. That would just maybe save some time if you're creating or if you have like a complex subject format maybe, and you just every time you just want to edit a few words or something. I don't know. So that's what that field's all about. And then you have a little spot here to remind people how they got on your list. Now this is important because a lot of people will get emails from you and they're like, well, why is this guy sending me an email? So this is kind of where you go and you just put like, you're receiving this email because you opted in at my website, bgrs.biz, or you opted in here or there. You just tell people where they opted in, and you're going to want to, and for this reason, it's a good reason to, create a new list for every place that you have people opting in, so you can make that customized to the way they opted in. So if they if you're, you know, um, also collecting opt-ins at somewhere other than your website, you don't want to have them, you don't want to put in this you don't want to send them an email that says that you're getting this because you opted in at my website, and they might maybe never have been there. So anyway, so just make a separate list for each place that you're collecting the opt-ins. Um, and then let's see, it just goes over your contact info, and then you can check these boxes if you want to be emailed whenever someone subscribes or someone unsubscribes. And then you can check this box to give people the option of HTML, plain text, or mobile. Now, I definitely recommend doing that. I personally, when I get emails, I like them to be in plain text. People like to send these fancy HTML emails, but you know what? Just about every email provider, will block the images and stuff. And so you look at this email and it just looks like crap because everything's being blocked for security purposes. So I actually, I think plain text is really the way to go. And, give people the option at minimum if you are going to be sending out HTML emails. Definitely give them the option for plain text. Anyway, so once you have your list set up, you then need to go and design a form, an opt-in form. Now, even though we're not really using the opt-in form on the blog, we're using that plugin. You still need to create one just so it generates the appropriate API keys to plug into that plugin. So just go ahead. This is a pretty straightforward thing. You can kind of use the default one because, like I said, we're not going to use this. We're just doing this for the API. So once you create your form, you then would go to your account and you click on API keys, then authorize apps. You would then add a key, and then you would then copy this key and put it somewhere where you can reference it later. And the other piece of information you're going to need is let's see. I'm just going to go back because I don't remember. There's one more piece of information you need, and we will get to that. So now, to configure this plugin, you go to your dashboard. So let's start at the beginning here. So we go to the WordPress dashboard, which you get to by going to your domain /WP admin, and then you're going to go to plugins, and then you're going to go click on the newsletter sign up edit to edit these, or no, you're going to go to settings actually. You're not going to go to edits to actually modify the plugin. You're just going to modify some settings. So you want to go to settings, and here you're going to select your mailing list provider. It gave you a list. Here's the Aweber that I was talking about that everyone likes to use. MailChimp is the one I went with. So you're going to do MailChimp. You're going to hit the checkbox for the MailChimp API. Then you're going to copy that API key that I showed you where you get that over in MailChimp into there. And then the other one you need is the list ID. Okay, so that's a good hint of where I need to find that. So I'm guessing I go to my list, I go to view list, and I'm going to get the list ID at, I found this last night when I was putting it up, and now I'm making the video, and I don't remember where I got that list ID. I probably should have figured that out before I started recording, but hopefully I can find this pretty quick here. I'm just going to pause for a second. Alright, sorry about that. I found out where it is. So when you're at your main list dashboard here, you click on settings, and then at the bottom here it says unique ID for list BGRS, which is what I named that list. And so then you would copy that and paste that into your MailChimp list ID, and that's pretty much the extent of everything you need to get going here. Then you're probably going to want to modify some of the text to show after the checkbox for your advice tips check here. That's just what's going to show up at that checkbox when they're registering to allow them to opt in. Then there's some sign-up form settings, text to submit after. I just put thank you, so if they sign up it just says thank you. And so I kept it pretty simple for now. I'll probably flesh this out a little bit later, but for now I just wanted to get it functioning to give you the idea. And that's really all it takes to get going. So now I'm gonna go ahead. I got some random Yahoo email account that I'm just gonna type in here, wallsbc@yahoo.com, and I'm gonna hit sign up and just kind of show you how this works. And so there it was. It just says thank you now instead of having that field. So now I'm going to go to, now it doesn't put me on the list just yet. It's actually going to kick, let's see, I'm going to go to Yahoo. It's going to kick an email to make sure that I did this on purpose. Where am I going? Mail.yahoo.com is probably the quickest way to get there. So I'm going to go to Yahoo and just check this real quick. someone's calling me here. I'll just kind of ignore that. Let's see. Ah, they want me to upgrade or something. I don't know. Whatever. Just let's show me the mail. Alright, so I got the email here. It just says, please confirm subscription. So then you would just click on yes, subscribe me to the list, and then continue to our website would bring you back into the BGRS. And if you were to click on manage your preferences, it'll take you to your preferences for that list. So you could type in your name, and here's where you can choose the preferred format between HTML, text, and mobile. And it also gives you a link to unsubscribe. Alright, so now should be added to that list. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to MailChimp. He really wants to get a hold of me. I'm going to call him back when I'm done here. I'm just going to hit ignore. Anyway, and if you're wondering about that, I use Google Voice for my phone, and so that's why it comes up there on my computer. And I also have phones ringing. Okay, anyway, sorry about that. So now, where was I? So you go back to MailChimp, and let's see if I should have a new subscriber here since I just subscribed. So I'm going to go to lists, and I'm going to view the list here. And yep, there it has. It says 2 subscribers. So and one of them is the one my first test, and then this is the second test that I just did right now in the video. So wildspacey1@yahoo.com. So there you have it. And it's really that easy. And now you're set up to start building that list. And I better answer this phone call. So we can go ahead and end the video here. And all right, well, take care.